Hello everyone, wonderful morning, wonderful afternoon, and wonderful evening. So this is me, Hijab Freelancing Wale. I am a student of Rehan School, Kurungi campus. I am reading class 7, my class in the Future Navigator. So today we have the very honorable and grateful guest whose name is Andrea Masons. And she is a very we have the very privilege of speaking with an expert who has a deep understanding of this transformative concept. Andrea Manson, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. It's an honor to be part of
Walaikum
the students of
assalam.
Rehan Awaha. Thank you.
Okay, so let's moving for the before moving on the question. Please, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Mason, your first choice, your global voice under the mentorship and an alumna of Dr. Les Brown. I am also the creator and founder of Press Play, Plan Life According to You, LLC, an international bestseller on Amazon, as well as a featured speaker, as well as a contributing and organically grown podcast of Unleashing the Champion Within. And I have my book coming out. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Okay, my next question on the screen. Can you explain the concept of achieving personal freedom through forgiveness?
Yes, absolutely. So the concept that I create from achieving personal freedom to the healing power of forgiveness is that in order for us to move forward, we must be balanced. We must be in alignment with our mind, body, soul, spirit, and heart. And in order to do that, we must remove the toxicity, remove the negativity of our experiences in the past. We must make sure that we are equipped with positivity and the ability to be flexible and understand individuals and effectively communicate. And if we are able to do that, we are able to achieve personal freedom.
Okay, so okay, how does the process of forgiveness contribute to healing and personal growth?
Yes. So, in order to grow and to heal, we must be mindful of the feelings that we have in. Now, our mind has conscious thoughts, subconscious thoughts, and then unconscious thoughts. And when we are able to have awareness and understand what the root cause of these thoughts and where they're driven from, then we are able to allow ourselves to heal. However, when we want to forgive someone, we have that toxicity, we have that animosity about that person for what they've done to us, that for they have done wrong, they have treated us poorly. But in the same regard, we are the ones that have the ability to either take away a message from that or hold regret. Either or is a choice, but the latter will create toxicity and we will repeat the same behaviors, because if we don't face our past will continue to chase us. Back to you.
Okay, so my question: what are some common misconceptions people have about forgiveness?
Yes, absolutely. What society has told us is if we forgive someone, we should forget. And that really doesn't ring true, because what I aim to do is I aim to help individuals learn from these patterns, learn from these individuals, learn from their mistakes. And a lot of us are walking around with a lot of baggage of who has done us wrong. Our life was difficult, our life was hard. And it doesn't have to be that way, because a new day is a new day. We have an opportunity to be here and start over again. It's what are we learning from our mistakes, our mishaps, and people who have done us wrong? And are we able to forgive them and take the ability and the opportunity to change it into a positive? Because the rippling effect, if we don't forgive and we don't forget, then we for continuously repeat the same patterns and attract those individuals into our lives.
Um, okay, so how do you believe forgiveness can positively impact one's mental and emotional well-being?
Excellent question. Forgiveness definitely impacts one's mental health and well-being because our, as the late great Bob Proctor says, our thoughts become things. So what happens is when we forgive someone, we have to forgive ourselves. And that has a positive effect on us as through the healing process. This situation has occurred, it happened then, and I'm in the now. And when we are able to take each day by day, live in the moment, each time is a present to others and ourselves. When we live in the moment, that's when we are able to feel and heal. And this emulates and has a domino effect on our well being. Think about it. If you can think of somebody right now who's done you wrong and you haven't forgiven them, your face, your chemical makeup, your body and frequency changes. How dare they do that? I can't believe they did that to me. What did I do to deserve that? That impacts your mindset and your well being. But if you say, you know what, they did that, it happened then, this is the message that I learned, this is what I've learned from it, I'm going to make sure that I attempt not to make the same mistake and be have heightened awareness.
Okay, so what strategies or practices can individual use to start their journey towards forgiveness?
Yes, the first couple of steps and strategies I believe is to realize the individual as a human being. Anyone who says they didn't make a mistake is lying to you. Nobody is perfect. We learn from our mistakes and we gain lessons. So the first thing is to acknowledge that this individual is another human being. Where were they at? Where was their mindset? What has happened to them that they did this to you? It's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. When we are able to start out and realize this is a human being, have we done this to somebody else? Have we said this? Have we acted this way upon somebody else? Maybe, maybe not. And then the next step is to forgive, to say, hey, you know what? This is what you did. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but this is how I felt. Be bold enough and brave enough in a civil, respectful manner to address it, because that one chance that you address it to them may make them realize and avoid it and prevent it from happening again. And then take pride in yourself and said, you know what? Now I'm going to forgive myself. I'm going to forgive myself and not give power to those who want to have power over me. That the treatment of others upon me, I have to do some self assessment and reflection to see, am I attracting it? Or is what they did, what is the takeaway message that I know not to do it to somebody else? And those would be some of the strategies I would start with. Back to you.
Okay, so in your opinion, what role does self forgiveness play in the process?
Yes. So, in my opinion, the role of forgiveness is in the process starts. I believe it's categorized with, are you ready to move forward? How long do you want this to harness and paralyze you? You know, in my opinion, everything, if you look at any stage at any age of your life and you have some negative or harmful situations, that's where it starts. If that individual is no longer in your life, if that individual is under your roof, if that individual has passed on, do your due diligence and forgive them and forgive yourself, because it will internalize and tear you away. It will harsh. how do I say it? It will hardening your perspectives upon others. You lose trust, you lose love, you lose faith in your entities. And so when you are able to forgive, that role is a prominent factor because you are eliminating all of the toxicity in your mind, body, and soul and making room to positivity. And if there isn't positivity, then you know what? It's your reflection and your responsibility to create it in your own life. Back to you.
Okay, my question on the screen: are there any scientific studies or research that support the idea of forgiveness leading to personal freedom? Freedom.
Yes, actually, that's a great question because I am I am a living testimony. So, in short, a brief story about me: I had lost my mother in 2007, and it was probably one of the worst days of my entire life. And I didn't deal with it. I didn't forgive people. I was frustrated spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And I just went about my day. I went back to work. I said, "Oh, I'm just going to deal with it, move on, move forward." But because I had that toxicity, because I had that anger, that guilt, that frustration, and just all the negative thoughts you could think of. Years later, fast forward to February 2016, I ended up in the hospital with a terminal condition. And that terminal condition was fed off of the breaking down of my immune system. And for any of you, those out there who know science and psychology, your immune system is based on your feelings, emotions, and your stress level. And if your stress level is weakened, your body tends to shut down. Because I didn't go through the proper stages of the healing process of forgiveness, hey, you know what? She's in a better place. She's no longer in pain. That, it wasn't out of spite, it wasn't out of anger. And if had I gone through those processes, I wouldn't have bottled up off of that toxicity. But as the late great Bob Proctor says, dis-ease cannot withstand a healthy mindset. Now, I was in the hospital and my body was tarnished, but my mind was healthy. But what was going on in my mind was negativity, anger, guilt, denial, frustration because I lost my mother. And that took a toll on my body. So to answer your question, are there any scientific, stats or experiences? When I was able to have that aha moment and say, I don't need to live like this. She's in a better place, but she's always in my heart. I need to turn my life around. That was when I changed my channel and I was able to get healthy and successfully a clean bill of health discharged from the hospital. So, yes, science proves what happens in the mind can damage your body. Dis-ease cannot withstand a healthy mind. I've known several friends, family members, and loved ones who were deemed and diagnosed with terminal conditions. But when they changed their mindset and said, no, that is not going to define me. I'm going to change my diagnosis to prognosis and take action. All of them were able to heal themselves properly. And that is the power of the mind. Back to you.
Amazing answer. So, can you discuss any challenges people might face when trying to forgive and move past victimhood?
Yes, actually, it's as studying social work and psychology, understanding the lifestyles, belief system, cultures, as well as the scientific message behind the psychology and society's influences. Today, we live in a world of the unknown and uncertain, and a lot of people are stuck. But some of the concerns that I have for these individuals: why are you stuck? Are you fearful of failing? Are you fearful of succeeding? It's easier to be comfortable than to step into being comfortable, uncomfortable. What do I mean by that? When you step over the threshold of fear, that's when everything changes. That's when everything happens. But then you are required and have the benefit to persevere, to move forward, and to be consistent and congruent and committed. The problem I feel is that the fear that, oh my gosh, this is going to be hard work. This is going to take a lot of toll on my body, on my mind. I don't have the energy. They are following and replaying the reels in their mind of those individuals who've doubted them, who've abused them, who've bullied them, neglected them, or didn't believe in them. And what's amazing that I've learned on this journey is that my family across the waters and across the borders, I've learned believe in me without even knowing me than my closest environment. And that was a very jagged pill to realize, because how can I move forward if my immediate connections don't believe in me? But I can forgive them for that. It's not their fault. That's where their mindset is. I have to meet them where they're at. And knowing that there's individuals across the world, such as my extended family in Pakistan from Rehan Foundation, they believe in me. The most important person that has to believe in you is yourself. Forgive yourselves for your mistakes, your sins, your errors, your mishaps, your shortcomings, because it's just a step in the learning process. Don't feel comfortable with being comfortable. Be ready to feel uncomfortable and step into your own self, because that's where you create your own identity out of life's adversities.
Okay. So, how does taking responsibility for one's own healing tie into the concept of moving from victim to victorize?
Yes, as a personal accountability coach, this is my wheelhouse. Walking beside everyone and allowing them to take accountability and responsibility for their actions. This is a great pattern and attribute that can be learned over time. It doesn't happen overnight. We have memories and heartaches from years ago. We still have not dealt with them. And when we have the ability to do so, to take responsibility, then we have the accountability to take action. However, society has said to us that if I do something, my word is my bond. But what human beings do is it's more prominent. I'm more accountable and responsible if I said to you, hey, today I'm going to eat healthy. If I say it to myself, we already self sabotage. We already are our own worst critics. So it's not really important for us to keep our truth to ourselves. And that's the misconception. But if I told my parents, if I told you, hey, you know what, I'm going to eat healthy today, I'm putting the responsibility on you and the accountability on me. And what society says, I should have a people pleasing mentality as opposed to a personal achievement mentality. So it's important we take accountability and responsibility for our own actions. And that's what I do as a personal accountability coach. I walk beside you without judgment, no excuses, and just results. But I meet you where you're at. For I'm not in a position, nor want to be in a position to judge you. That's not my life. I don't guide because it's not my life to lead. I don't lead because I don't want to put you outside your comfort zone. We are equal. I walk you side by side. Back to you.
Okay, so my next question on this screen, are there cultural or societal factors that influence our ability to forgive and let
Yes,
go? Sorry.
absolutely. Excellent question. As I've learned over the past couple of years, when the world turned predominantly virtual, I only saw what society would show me in different countries and different continents. And although I respect everybody's different cultures and aspects of their societal views, it really comes back to the person within. It becomes to the individual. It really starts with you, because how can you go advance and go forward when forgiving someone and moving forward if society is telling you opposite? And then you have to really look within yourself. What are my core morals, ethics, and values? There are influences, there are manipulations from society as well as cultural, but in the end, you are living your life. It's your life to live, no one else's. You are the one that is handling your own thoughts when you are by yourself. It's you are the one that's taking action to advance forward. So, to the cultural and societal views, respect and understand them, but also understand that you are an individual entity, and into respecting them, that any culture or society that empowers and enlightens one to be thyself, then they should have the respect that you are living your life on your terms. And that's what's most important.
Okay, great answer. So, what advice do you have for individuals who find it difficult to forgive those who have hurt them?
Yes, the advice that I'd feel is, we're living in a world where everything is constantly changing. We're here one day, we're gone the next. My advice with somebody who is stuck or having difficulty advancing is kind of taking a moment and writing down your personal profile, your personal story, and your bio. What does it say about you? What do other people say about you? What is the individual traits and attributes that you're sharing with the world? And is it an alignment of who you want to be? I learned some years ago that after taking assessment and inventory of my family members, my employers, and my friends, wait, they saw me this way and I want to be this way. It didn't match up and I was confused. So I had to take inventory and assess to make sure that they were parallel. Because if I'm emulating a persona of some sort and my actions aren't reflecting, to me, that's not being a woman of integrity. That's not being authentic. And what makes us different makes us unique, but what makes us unique makes us authentic. And that's why we are able to help one another across the world, across the borders, across the waters. Because if we were all the same, then there would be no room for growth. If we were all the same, then everybody would be experiencing life the same way. But in the fact that we are different, in the fact that we are constantly evolving and changing, one individual that may be at this point in their life can help another individual here, and vice versa. One's areas of improvement may be someone's strengths. And we have to be vulnerable and willing to ask for help when necessary. We're not here to do it alone. And some areas that we may not be, you know, talented at. Socrates says, all that I know is that I know nothing. And that is the greatest quote ever, because we're constantly learning. And if you are settling in life and not learning or evolving, then nobody is responsible for your life except you. So take ownership, take accountability and responsibility, and learn from your losses, gain from your pains, and allow yourself to extend your hand to help someone else.
Okay. So my last question. Uh, so How do you differentiate between forgiving someone and allowing them to continue harmful behavior?
Yes, a lot of individuals self-sabotage. They do harm to themselves. Am I deserving of this? Am I worthy of this? Am I a people-pleasing individual? The way that they can differentiate from forgiveness and harming themselves or others is realizing that it's an unfortunate situation of the individual or incident has occurred, but at the same token, it's a reflection of them, not oneself. So the best way to do that would be realizing the situation at the surface. What was the situation or incident that occurred? Number one. Number two, being bold enough and brave enough to address the individual and say, hey, this is what has happened and this is how I felt. A lot of times what we mistaken is that this individual doesn't already knows it and is just doing it programmingly, but sometimes it hasn't. That's all they've experienced. That's all they've known. So by you addressing it to them at that moment in a civil, respectful manner may change their timeline going forward. It may prevent them from doing it to somebody else. And also not to take everything personally. Because when we take things personally, whether it's a post, a meme, a statement or something that if you hurt somebody, then we're allowing and putting the control in someone else's judgment about us. So please do your steps. Take accountability, take responsibility, but be bold enough and brave enough to address the individual on what has occurred. And whether, regardless if they accept or decline, most importantly, to prevent self sabotage, forgive yourself. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much for giving the advice and come in my show and for your valuable time.
Yes, absolutely. And I welcome you and your community as well as all the students. I do have live groups 11:30, pardon me, 11 a.m. on Tuesday mornings, Eastern Standard Time USA, 6 p.m. Thursday evenings, Eastern Standard Time USA. It is complimentary, my gift to the community, so all are welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much to you, Ms. Hajib, as well as Rian Hawala. Thank you so much for being a part and believing in me. I am truly grateful. If you want to connect with me right here, AndreaMasons.com, and type in this segment, and I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you so much. Take care.
Take care. Be well.